Welcome, everyone. Today we're talking all about how to outsmart the Instagram algorithm. And I was thrilled to be able to hear all of this information I'm sharing with you today directly from the head of Instagram himself, Adam Mosier. So he really wants Instagram to be the best platform for creators. And creators are anybody who's posting content on the platform, right? Instagram, actually, this was really surprising to me. Instagram has more creators than any other platform, according to him. And what matters most is reach, but not just any kind of reach, stable reach. This is what he's saying. What matters most to him is that his creators are getting stable reach. And really, then after that, number one is he wants to help small creators break out. Number two, he's looking for original content. So when he talks about original content, there are a lot of people out there on every platform that are taking somebody else's soccer video, sports video, and adding something to it, making it spiffy, and they're getting tons and tons and tons of views, but it's not original content. And he strongly believes that the person who originally created whatever the content was is the person that should get tons of views. So he's really interested in original content, and he wants Instagram to be better at trends, at having them pop up faster. So those are the three things. His top three things are help small creators break out, help the person who created the original content get all the views, and be better at having trends and having them pop faster on Instagram. This was really interesting. More photos and videos are shared in DMs on Instagram than in stories every day. And way more photos and videos are shared in stories than in the feed every day. So Instagram, because that's happening less in the feed, Instagram has increased reach from non-followers, especially for small creators. So they have this new thing where if you log into your Instagram account, you can see where your views are coming from, if they're coming from your followers or coming from non-followers. A very small percentage of average users share something in their feed every day. So the feed has become much more public versus stories and DMs, which is where your friends are. So stories and DMs are where your friends are. Instagram has seen a drop in people views in the feed, and they want to increase that. So the amount of content shared in the feed was decreasing, which meant that the average time being spent in the feed was decreasing. And Instagram sees this as negative feedback, which is understandable, right? They want to see things growing. So this becomes a vicious cycle because if there are fewer views in the feed, then content creators are going to put less things in the feed, which means less time spent in the feed, which means less content. So Instagram started doing recommendations to get more people in the feed. So if you're creating content and Instagram sees your content and they see other people that are not your followers that they think might be interested in your content, they're trying to do recommendations. Say, hey, Beverly, we think you might like this. Hey, Agnieszka, go check this out. So the feed is really what's happening right now. The feed is the most important place for creators to post. This is straight from the head of Instagram. So this is the thing that was really cool about this. This is not some guru, some social media guru, some person who thinks they're an Instagram guru saying these are the hottest trends. This is straight from the mouth of the head of Instagram. So who do you think knows better how the algorithm works? Some social media guru that you're following or the head of Instagram? I'm listening to the head of Instagram all day, every day. I've heard all kinds of things about how stories are the place to post on Instagram. Well, here you go, straight from the head of Instagram. The feed is the place for people to post. Now, this is now, right? It doesn't mean that trend isn't going to change a year from now. But now, this is what Instagram is focusing on. he said stories are great, but your average creator reaches way more people in the feed, way more people in the feed. Okay. Um, So because recommendations are a way for Instagram to help people find an account and content that you would love, but you might not know existed. So when you put something in the feed, Instagram is going to use its recommendations to tell your people that are not following you about you. So Instagram is always trying to figure out what's good for the creators, but also what's good for average folk and for Instagram. Okay. Instagram is making small changes every day to the algorithm. It's very rare that they make massive change. He said, every single day we're making changes to the algorithm. So people think, oh, there's some big change to the algorithm. Highly unlikely, rarely happens. They're trying to get a little better one day at a time. So he also said, don't overreact to any one post. So if you've got one post that wasn't good at all, or one post that went crazy, he said, don't overreact to it. This was really interesting. He talked about how things going on in the world will dramatically impact your posts. So he talked about, for example, on Mother's Day, you know, everything's all about Mother's Day. So if you post something that has nothing to do with Mother's Day before or after, and you don't get any views of it, like let's say you posted something on the Saturday before or the Monday after Mother's Day or on Mother's Day and you don't get very many views, don't overreact to that. There are trends that are going on all the time. Um, so something might have been different that day. So look for patterns and trends rather than one single post. Okay. Um, he, the question was asked, is DM automation allowed? And he said, yes, yes, it's absolutely allowed on Instagram. Um, they know it's important, but just make sure you're working with a reputable provider of automation for your direct messaging on Instagram. So that was really cool because we hear about these things. It's like, oh, well, they're always trying to catch the bots. Well, in this case, automation is allowed. Just make sure you're dealing with a reputable company. Instagram is trying to do better at having Instagram content show up in SEO, like on Google, on Bing. So for example, when I write a LinkedIn article, if I get a lot of views, if I've done my SEO correctly, my LinkedIn article is going to show up on Google. That does not happen, and lots of my articles have shown, my LinkedIn articles have shown up on Google. That has not happened very much at all with Instagram, and they're really focusing on trying to get better at that. They're investing in search on Instagram itself so that you could search for content on Instagram. They're looking for improvements on that over the next few months and years. That's not something that's going to happen next week. And he said that this will be very significant because right now, you really get all the value from your content on Instagram in the first 24 to 48 hours. So that is really, really interesting and really important, because one of the reasons why I love YouTube is because the content is there and it's searchable. YouTube is a search engine, and I get more and more and more and more views of my videos all the time. I have one video that has been up for 3 years now, and every week is my top performing video, and every week I get more views of it. Whereas that doesn't happen on Instagram. So they're working on changing that so that Instagram becomes more of a search engine itself. It has search in it, which is huge. That will mean your content on Instagram becomes much more valuable than it is right now. Because if I put a video up on Instagram, only people who happen to see it in the first 24 to 48 hours will ever see it. So this will be a big change for Instagram. And it's really good for you to understand that your content, see, I really love to learn this information about these platforms, because for my time spent, I want to get the biggest bang for my buck. So if I'm going to do a video, and by the way, 3 minutes is the longest video you can do on Instagram. He did talk about that. If I'm going to do a 3-minute video, am I going to put it up? Am I going to focus on getting it up on Instagram or YouTube? Well, to me, it's YouTube all day, every day, because the views are going to keep going and going and going and going and going, and it's evergreen content. That's not what it is on Instagram now. It's not what it is on Facebook now. But Instagram, I can't talk about Facebook. I can't speak to Facebook because he's the head of Instagram, not Facebook. Instagram is working on making that content more evergreen. Interestingly, on your videos, Instagram looks at up to 128 frames on your video, and to understand what your video is about. They're listening to your audio and they're taking your audio and transcribing it into text so they can understand what your video is about. They're looking at comments. That's coming soon. And they are right now looking at captions to understand what your content's about. And that's one of the ways in which the algorithm works to serve your content to other people. And now he himself said that on YouTube, he believes they look at up to 512 frames of your video. So he was comparing Instagram to other platforms. I found this really, really, really fascinating and interesting. Then he talked about a share of content to an individual versus sharing a content to like a whole channel or something. He said they weight it the same way, because you might share your content to your whole channel and maybe you've got thousands of viewers. But when you share it with an individual, if I say, hey, Steve, in a direct message, hey, Steve, I love this. I think you'll really find this interesting. That is way, way, way more powerful. It's so personal. It's way more powerful than if I just share it, in my newsfeed or something like that. So they weight it the same, because that single share is much more personal. And when it comes to video, Instagram looks at both watch time and percent of time watched. So percent of time watched is, does somebody watch, on average, is your video watched through 50% and then all the views drop off, or do people watch through 75% of your video and then they drop off? Versus watch time, because if you've got a 15-second video, 100% of watch time is going to be 15 seconds. If you've got a 60-second video, 15 seconds is not watching very much of your video. So they look at both because both things are interesting. But they're not optimized for time like YouTube, TikTok, and Netflix are. Really interesting. Instagram is all about short form and talking to friends. So he really kept talking about friends, like this is truly, truly, truly a social platform. So, and that's what they're trying to optimize for. They love it if you consume content and then go and message it and share it individually with friends. That is what they love, love, love. He said, and this is a direct quote from him, so I want to read it. We're a place where we want you to easily explore a bunch of interests, share a couple of things with your friends, maybe talk to your friends about them. Short form video is way more close to that than to that friend connection than long video. Long video is less participatory and much more sit back and watch. And that's where he said 3 minutes is the max. So really interesting on that. It's a very different platform. And so it's important to understand what the platform is looking for, how the platform works. Okay, shifting gears, hashtags. Hashtags are not important, period. Straight from the head of Instagram. Hashtags aren't important, aren't an important thing for reach. And you can't follow anyone's hashtags anymore. So that's changed. And he kept saying, I know a whole bunch of people want to kill me for that, but hashtags are just not important on Instagram. Again, total change of gear here. They've created an account status area, which is really helpful because Instagram tells you if your content goes against their terms and conditions, for example. They are not going in and banning people or taking down people's content without telling you, right? So they're going to tell you that, and he said the vast majority of content is something that is that they give a warning on, is something that he feels is not intentionally malicious. There are some things that are intentionally malicious, and they're all over that. But generally speaking, people might make a little mistake here or there, and they tell you in your account status, right? This is really interesting. Instagram doesn't use your consumption patterns as a signal for what they should do. So I'll use myself as an example. Let's say I went into Instagram and I kept watching videos on golf and sourdough bread making. What I watch is not a signal at all in terms of the content I post and who it should be served to. So I can watch golf videos and sourdough videos all day long, and it won't affect the fact that my content is specifically for affiliate marketers, network marketers, things like that, digital marketers, things like that. So you can watch anything you want on Instagram, and it does not affect who your content is served to. I found that really, really interesting. Here's another really interesting thing, and I think this is a huge myth that is being busted. Now, I can't say this is the same for Facebook, but so many of us have been under the impression that before you go in and post content, now this is specifically for Instagram again, before you go in and post content, you should go and you should like and comment on other people's posts for 15 minutes or so, and then post your content, or do it 15 minutes after. He said, the algorithm doesn't care about you getting on and liking and commenting on things for 15 minutes before or after your post. Doesn't care at all. So don't worry about doing that anymore. On Instagram, I can't speak to Facebook, but this is straight from the founder of Instagram's mouth. He said, it's totally okay to schedule posts while you're not on the platform. He said he does it all the time because he lives in California and he wants his posts to be up in the morning time for the East Coast. He does not want to be up at 5 a.m. posting so that it's showing up at 8 a.m. for people on the East Coast. He schedules his posts all the time. You do not have to be on the platform. You do not have to be active on the platform when your posts are going up. It does not affect the algorithm at all. I found that really, really, really interesting. So he said he wants Instagram to be the best place for people to connect with other people they care about over things they care about. So very, very, very social. And it's important for us to know this stuff so that we can then figure out, okay, how do we approach our content on Instagram, and or is Instagram the right platform for you for whatever it is you're doing? He also said reach is going up for some people and down for some people. Overall, there's more reach to go around. He said it's in Instagram's best interest to get your content to every person who's truly interested in what it is you have to offer. This was something also that was really interesting. He said in North America, the number of people watching stuff isn't growing. So he talked about this, and it makes sense. It's not just North America, it would be Europe, developed countries. The number of new people having smartphones is not growing. Yes, we keep buying new phones, but the number of new people getting smartphones is really flat, which makes sense, right? Because we've all had smartphones for a while now. I know one person that doesn't have a smartphone, but other than that, so the number of new people with smartphones, new people on computers is not growing in developed countries, North America, Europe, etc. So there isn't, the number of people watching stuff isn't growing as much of the number of people who are interested in reaching people. So the number of creators, the number of people who want to get online and reach people is growing, but the number of people who are consuming the information is not growing. So that creates an issue. And when you think about that, that makes total sense. It's logical, right? So that creates an issue for those of us who are creators that want to get our content out there. And also creates an issue for the platforms because they're getting more and more and more content, but not more viewers. Okay. So creators need to be on multiple platforms. He said that. The CEO, the head of Instagram, said creators need to be on multiple platforms. And he said for any platform, this is bang on, I totally agree with him 1000%. For any platform, be really clear on what you're trying to accomplish and make sure the work you're doing aligns with that. And then he said, reach is great, but to what end? So what? You got 1,000 views or 10,000 views or 20,000 views on the video. So what? So you want to find the overlap between content that is going to reach your goal and content that is compelling and true to you. Okay? So more than 50% of time is spent on reels and short form video on Instagram. Okay? And decide what, this is his last tip. He said, decide what works for you. Reels, stories, carousels, photos. He said, doing all of them is going to be overwhelming. So don't try to do all of them. Figure out what works for you and do those. So that is straight from the founder, or not the founder, sorry, the head of Instagram. And I found those things to be really, really, really interesting. Some real myth busters there and some great tips. So I want to share my screen with you here for a second, because if you're interested in getting more information like this, if you really want to learn, stay up on the latest, greatest things, then I want to invite you to become part of our Digital Marketer Success Network, because this is the kind of thing we do every week, all week long. So the Digital Marketer Success Network is all about helping you, anyone who is trying to build a business, any business online. It's trying to help you understand the best of Instagram, the best of Facebook, the best of LinkedIn, the best of YouTube, the best of TikTok. So we have a very vital active discussions area here. We have an area where people put their intentions and their weekly intentions and their celebrations in. We have a super powerful consistency chain group, because what we know is that the number one thing to your success, the number one key to your success is consistency. So this is a great accountability group where everybody goes in and posts and says, I did my chain today. I did my chain today. And we're tracking on different days. So we've got people on day 56, people on day 72. And we've got people doing different things. Okay. So that's a 54. So we've got recordings of all of our calls. We have a weekly affiliate success call here where we're talking about if you choose to be an affiliate of the Digital Marketer Success Network. This call is all about how to help you promote the Digital Marketer Success Network. You do not have to be an affiliate. There's no additional fee to being an affiliate. That's totally optional. But I wanted to create something to help you earn money while you learn how to do all this. We are huge on AI. AI is a big, big, big part of what we talk about, what we train on. We have a weekly call just on AI. In fact, it's every Thursday, so later on today, in just a couple of hours, we're going to have our weekly AI call, and we talk about all different platforms. It doesn't matter if you're using ChatGPT or Ruby AI or NowSite, it doesn't matter. We're sharing ideas, showing tips and tools and the latest, greatest things we're coming up with all on AI. We also have a series of, I'm bringing in a series of AI experts. We've already done one person. We've got another one coming up soon. So we're spending a ton of time, because AI is, I mean, it's where it's at. It's the future. It's not going away. In fact, it's not even the future. It's now. So I'm super excited about what we're doing in the Digital Marketer Success Network, with all of us collaborating on AI. Then we have an AI resources area here We have a Friday Q&A call, which we cover all kinds of different things on that call. We have bi-weekly workshops. So if you are a pro or an elite member, you can come to the workshop with maybe an email series you're working on, maybe a video you're working on, maybe a landing page or some kind of branding thing. And we all as a group give you feedback, give you constructive ideas, and celebrate your successes. This has turned out to be a super powerful call too. I love this. Then we've got recordings of all of our calls. We have guest expert training calls. This is not just the AI, but all kinds of things. This week we had someone who's a top earner in her network marketing company. Coming up soon here, we've got a call on transforming your life in 2025, how to master time management and focus. So all kinds of things we're doing in our guest expert training calls. And of course, all these calls are recorded if you can't be on them. Then we have a course on consistency, which is open to everyone. We have a course on branding, which is Inc. University, all these different modules in here. Then we have courses for the elite and pro members on email marketing, faceless videos, Facebook formula, TikTok training, YouTube. This is personality styles. Plus we have an area for mind, abundance, mindset, abundance, energy, body. We have a recommended reading, and we have a course on abundance consciousness. So all kinds of things. So if you're interested in finding out more about the Digital Marketer Success Network, if you're interested in joining us so that you can really stay up on what is the latest with AI, if you want to get tools and tips and ideas on how to use AI, if you want to get more in-depth training on Instagram, which by the way, I'm going to do part 2 of Instagram tomorrow on our Friday Q&A call. So these are the kinds of things you get inside the Digital Marketer Success Network. So if you're interested in more information, go to gloriamacdonald.com/DMSN, and you will be connected to whoever invited you here today already because of your affiliate link. So again, that's gloriamacdonald.com/DMSN for Digital Marketer Success Network. And join us. And we have a 7-day money back guarantee. So join us, go in there, dig in, test out everything inside the Digital Marketer Success Network, and hop on our calls. And if after 7 days you decide, you know what, it's not for me, no questions asked, 100% money back guarantee. Okay? So again, that's gloriamacdonald.com/DMSN. I hope to see some of you inside the Digital Marketer Success Network, and have an amazing day. Hopefully you found this helpful, and part 2 of Instagram tomorrow on our Friday Q&A call. Thanks so much, guys. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.